I mean, come on. And so now we get this big push to where we need to give up our guns, or give up more of our freedoms, and have soldiers standing in our university buildings and dorms. And come on, folks, enough is enough. You know what? If every one of those 30 kids had a gun in their hands when that shooter walked in the classroom, the shooter wouldn't have gotten 30 kids. He wouldn't have gotten very far. So I don't think we need to take our guns away. I think we need to arm more people and start arming and training people to carry guns. Because then people like that, no matter how bad they're programmed by the government to kill, they'll be stopped before they hurt any more innocent victims. I love you, Sherry. Yahweh's warrior you are. We are with you all the way. The lizards will die. Amen. Amen. The lizards will die. More than you know. Oh, I would love to reveal some of this stuff. When time comes, I will, about this Oregon. But folks, just keep putting it out there, because it's going to destroy more of Satan's kingdom than you could possibly imagine. Where do you get those neodyme magnets? Myth and Links, mythnlynx.com. Myth and Links, mythnlynx.com. Mythandlinks.com, you get those neodyme magnets. Or just send Rev Ted an email and say, I want those magnets Sherry Shriner talks about, because he knows I have his stuff on my website. We obviously don't agree on the same things. I don't even know what exactly he does believe or doesn't, but I know he's got neodyme magnets, and so, I can use those. And I have used those, and I've been promoting his neodyme magnets for years, and so very good magnets. If you get 10 of them, you get them in a nice little round container thing. Do not take them all out at one time. Have you ever tried to get little magnets apart once they all start gathering up on top of each other? And these things are tough. I mean, it's like jumping beans. They're like jumping magnets, and you can't separate them. It's like killing your fingers to try to separate them once they get hooked onto each other. So it's kind of amusing. For those of you that just need a little amusement, I know I do once in a while. I appreciate it. but I'm careful with the magnets now, I've learned. But yeah, at least 10, because you can always use them for something. You could even put them in orgone with crystals to magnify the energy of the crystals in the orgone. Yeah, I've used magnets before in orgone. And I've used them on my kids. Because you got to realize, folks, that aliens are targeting your children for chip implants. And they don't always know what's going on. They can't tell you some alien came in the room last night, knocked them out, and put a chip up their nose, and that's why they have it running a bloody nose. And so, you know what? You can put these chips on their earlobes. For a small child, I wouldn't leave it on there very long, maybe 6 hours or something. Half the time you would an adult. If they're complaining about hearing ringing in their nose, be careful about the ringing, folks, because I know my son's asthmatic, and sometimes he gets ringing in his ears after he eats peanut products, so make sure it's not an allergy before you jump the gun and assume it's a chip implant. But I know some of you out there, you're hearing voices, because I hear these emails all the time from kids. I don't know what the heck's going on half the time. I think half our kids are psychotic or just waking up to the fact they're chip implanted and deciding these voices are normal. But yes, get the magnets, folks. A lot of kids, males, a lot of you out there hearing voices, get these chips, get these magnets and put them on your earlobes, north side facing down on the skin. You want the north side on the skin, because you don't need medication. You just need a good neodyme magnet. A lot of males being targeted for this stuff, and they're probably targeted as children. Probably been targets all their life. Because Satan wants to destroy our children. He doesn't want people growing up and knowing who they are in the Lord and fulfilling the calling that He has for them. Because everybody who wakes up and realizes they have a calling for the Lord, that's somebody else Satan has to fight. And his sources are limited. So he's got to keep as many people down and out as he possibly thinks he can. And so he's coming against us all the time. And when he figures out you've stopped one tactic, he's going to come at you with another. And so that's okay, because as he changes his plans, the Lord changes his, and he'll show us how to defeat and fight and stand up against him. We're fighting Satan's kingdom without ever firing one bullet, and we're going to destroy 2/3 of it. And so, all this stuff is as they just keep going on about how they're gods. Okay, God's on the earth, but he can't stop the weather from destroying it as he speaks. It's just going to be comical, folks. Some of you may not think it's funny. I think it's funny. And I see in the Bible codes where it's comical, because, here's God on earth, and he's got boils on him because he stepped in the Oregon area, and he broke out in boils from the Oregon, or half his army's dead and wiped out because they couldn't take the pure energy of Oregon, because they survive off of dead Oregon energy. They survive off of DOE. It's dead Oregon energy. And that's why the chemtrails, the major ingredient they're spewing out is iodine, because this iodine creates this DOE that makes our atmosphere livable and survivable for them. And the Oregon pumps out ether energy, and that combats the iodine. And so it's a constant war. It's a constant war. And I want to read you a quote before I close the show tonight. My friend sent me this the other day, and I put it on my website, thewatcherfiles.com. It was just so fitting. It's by C.S. Lewis. And he says, "There's no neutral ground in the universe. Every square inch, every split second is claimed by God and counterclaimed by Satan." And that's the way it is, folks. It's a daily war. Until next week. Oh, hey, but before I go, I am thinking about restarting my Aliens in the News radio show. So give me your comments on that. What do you think? Should I go 2 times a week, once with this show and one with my Aliens in the News show? The Aliens in the News show is strictly about aliens. Here's another quick question. Do you think the magnets can work with Morgellons to stop the fibers growing? Yes. I don't know about the magnets. I know that the Oregon will help. Get an Oregon pendant. I'll talk more about Morgellons next week, because I know there's other cures you can use for that. If you're just starting out with Morgellons, you've noticed a few, you can put tape on them and leave tape on those abrasions, lesions, or whatever, Morgellons. Put tape on it and it'll kill it. I'll talk about Morgellons more next week, because it's definitely an alien plague. Definitely something sent here by the aliens themselves to afflict humans with. Definitely a nasty, nasty disease or plague. But yeah, folks, let me know what your 2 cents is on Aliens in the News coming back to life. I started that show last year for reasons I won't go into. The show was canceled. I took the show off the air for a while. So I'm thinking about coming back with it. It would be during the day. I don't need another nighttime show. It'll be during the day, possibly around 11 a.m. And so I'm thinking about that for maybe Wednesdays at 11 o'clock a.m., Aliens in the News. Just definitely a different show, just night and day from this one, where I just cover aliens themselves. And so give me your feedback on that. Send it to SherryTalkRadio.com. Love to hear from you guys. Love hearing feedback, and so just send your questions in during the week. If I don't answer it during the one show, I'll get to it during the next week's show. And so they just pile up. And so until then, folks, have a blessed week. Remember who you are in Him, and stand up for Him in every second of every day. Until then, yeah, bless everybody.